Okay, I think the music is perfect. Dancing in the streets says it all.
Look, we should all be dancing in the streets after the turnout that we had yesterday. Clerk of Court Lewis Perrett joins us on the phone. And when we first started, your dream come true. What is your bucket list, voter turnout? And you said hopefully around 35%. And you did that, sir. Congratulations.
Well, I'm very, very proud of the voters in Lafayette Parish. When you look at 50.99% turnout, I'm the first to admit that I was wrong, but I'm very happy to have been wrong. And I want to thank the 78,637 voters in Lafayette Parish who did get out, but also across the entire United States. There was more interest, more involvement, and more voter participation, and that can only be a good thing.
Oh, amen. And gosh, let's just hope this momentum continues for years to come, and especially with our younger people, that they do feel part of the process and they feel engaged in it.
Well, you talk about every vote counting. Y'all were just earlier talking about that race in Scott. You had a situation there. I feel horrible for Purvis Morrison, and I feel wonderful for Jan Richard.
Right.
That is two fine public servants. Very clean race, gentlemen, both of them. No one can say Scott is not on the move and not on the grow and doing so well. And it really comes down to fighting for every single voter when you see 23 votes making the difference.
Isn't that, it's just incredible. And then as we looked at the other race in Karen Crow, as far as the two folks making the runoff, talk about every vote counting there too.
Unbelievable. You had, another circumstance of three really good candidates, three very well-known people. And, we all have our gut instinct or our little radar. And as I've traveled through the parish and visited little coffee places and talked to people, I couldn't get a sense in Karen Crow because they each had their group of supporters. Mm-hmm. And you're looking at former Mayor Tommy Angel not making the runoff.
I know.
By 26 votes. And if he would have had 26 votes, he would have been in first place. Think about that. Not making the runoff.
It boggles the brain.
26 votes. You end up with, the Stemmons family is very, very well known in the Harsh community.
Indeed.
And Charlotte did very well in that. And then Glen Brasso, you're looking at another city, Karen Crow. What's not on the move and not positive in Karen Crow? Things are going so well. And I'm so proud of the voters for turning out, and I want to thank them again for doing that.
Well, and I as we've said, hope they continue to do so. I guess the idea of reminding people every time we go to have an election, every time there's early voting, reminding people, look, in these past few elections, here's just more evidence that your vote counts.
Absolutely. And, you look around the parish here, it's just, we had a good, steady, consistent turnout throughout the day. I drove the parish, not every poll, but a lot of polls drove by. And we never had the long, long lines that you saw on television throughout the United States. But we had people in line when the voting booth opened up at 6. And we had people still voting close to 8 o'clock.
Isn't that incredible?
It really, really, really worked out well. And, it was a work day yesterday. We ended up with that torrential downpour yesterday afternoon. Yeah. I don't know where, depending on where you were, whether you experienced that. We were worried about voting dropping off. But people did take the time after work. People did stop by. They did cast their ballot. They did participate. Now, of course, we want to encourage that almost 49% that didn't turn out. In December, we've got two more big, huge issues on the ballot.
That's right.
And you've got runoffs, I think. And you talk about anything can happen. There's a lady in the runoff for the Secretary of State's race that I believe has raised and spent less than $3,000.
Isn't it incredible? That's amazing.
Well, it is, and that's where you're starting to see the state of Louisiana, I believe, is beginning to reflect the United States, and that people are pretty much deciding Republican, Democrat, and going to those places, or conservative, liberal, and going to those places, and she looked to be the candidate that they decided, obviously, to get behind, for somebody to spend less than $3,000 and get over 250,000 votes. That's incredible.
It is. It's just glorious.
Well, one thing I want to point out, Louis, is because a lot of people watch news from all different sources, whether it's national or local or on Facebook. I want to just give you a pat on the back for how smooth everything ran yesterday.
Indeed.
We heard nothing about voting machines not working here in our area. We had heard nothing about 4-hour lines. We're hearing that in other states, but I just want to be very clear. That didn't happen here, and we ran a really successful election here yesterday.
Well, thank you very much, but it wasn't me. It was those great, mostly senior citizens and my great staff at the clerk's office. You know, we have 800 and something people working on election day. And we had glitches and we had little small issues, but things were addressed. And I want to give a shout out to my team because those people were there. It was a very long day yesterday from 5 in the morning until about 10:45 last night. But it's so important that people know that their vote counts and that the elections are handled honestly. And
Absolutely.
So I'm very proud of the way that things turned out in Lafayette. Not saying we're perfect. We had small glitches and things like that, but they were addressed as they came up. And I'm just so pleased today to see this turnout. It gives me great hope.
We only have 3.5 weeks until we do early voting for the December 8th election, and our clerk has agreed, Mr. Perrett has agreed. He'll come and join us every Tuesday, again, between now and December the 8th. And, gosh, I hope we can do just as well for December the 8th. And, gosh, it would be amazing.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity to participate this way. I don't know if it's Robin, Bernie, or Donald Trump or what, but I'm very pleased to see this voter participation and involvement, and I want to encourage the listeners out there to continue to be involved, stay informed, and participate.
Absolutely. Lafayette Parish Clerk of Court, Louis Perrett, sir, thank you for all of your time. Please send our congratulations to your staff, also the other people that were working for the elections, all those commissioners. We appreciate it, too. You know, I think it gives everybody a huge win for today, whether their candidate won or lost. We can all sleep a lot better knowing that voter turnout was great in Lafayette Parish and pretty doggone solid in Acadiana and the state as a whole.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one, sir. Boy, I bet he's going to be, busy. You and I are busy.
We are busy.
Okay.
I've already poured our 2 styrofoam cups of wine.
I just want to say, put your glass up. I mean, your styrofoam cup. Put your cup up.
Only in America.
A toast.
Where we dreaming in red, white, and blue.
A toast to all the people that voted.
I want to.
Here you go.
Okay, you're a little bit further from me than I expected. Glad I didn't dump my wine all over you.
It's been done.
By the way, I want to go back and just say this real quick before we talk about the wine. Official turnout. Lewis was very humble in saying this at the beginning of his interview. Official turnout, 78,630 total votes cast. That is an official voter turnout in Lafayette Parish of 50.99%. I'm going to call that 51%.
Yeah.
So thanks for getting out there and voting. The more people are involved, the more you can complain, because the more you're involved and you made a choice. But don't complain to us. Complain to your people you elected, okay?
Right.
My mailbox fills up quickly.
Okay, but they could call in on this show anytime they want.
Yes, 232-1542. All right, let's talk about the wine.
This is delicious. What is this beverage?
This is Gloria Ferrer.
Oh.
Pinot Noir.
Oh, that's why I love
Carneros, estate grown.
Ooh.
You can get it half price today at all 3 locations of Romicelli.
Romicelli, you guys are the best. Half off
Sugar
of the
Mill
bottles?
Pond. Yes, half off bottles at Sugar Mill Pond, River Ranch, and Perrett Farms. Let me describe this one to you right now.
Okay, tell me.
This is a new wine to the area, to Romicelli. Gloria Ferrer Pinot Noir. It's great. Pairs well with the Cajun spice pizza.
Oh, I bet.
Louisiana shrimp, lightly dusted in Cajun seasoning. Italian sausage, red onions, green bell peppers, sliced jalapenos, and mozzarella with the classic marinara sauce.
Romicelli, I got to tell you, everything on their menu.
Great lunch date to me.
Everything is great on their menu. I've never had anything that wasn't just outstanding.
Have you ever had the Tuscan seared tuna there?
Yes.
It's served with white beans, which seems very odd to have some seared tuna served with white beans.
But great combination.
But it is a great combo, and it's really garlicky, really heavy with the garlic, which I love.
Well, and that's so good for you between the wine and the garlic. Like, no joke, that's pretty good heart health right there.
This is really good. The Gloria Ferrera Pinot Noir, you can get at half price today for Wine Down Wednesday at all 3 locations of Romacelli.
I'm going to buy that as a gift because this is very smooth.
Good Christmas gift.
Yeah,
yes, good
definitely.
Christmas gift. They welcome that as well.
Can you imagine if you give somebody a gift card to Romacelli, and then you're like, oh, and by the way, this is my favorite bottle of wine. I mean, that person is just going to love you that whole next year.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it is 8:23. Quick break here. I'll be back to recap more of what happened yesterday and last night.
And what do you people think?
232-1542 is our number. What did you experience yesterday? Did what you think was going to happen? I'm actually pretty surprised at the margin. I'm not surprised that